Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Unfortunately, I have a lot of news about people's cruises being canceled. Not only on the oceans, but even on the rivers. But we do have some good news as Sweden has implemented its first shore power testing in its home port. Also, we have the 5 cruise lines that were awarded an environmental award in Vancouver for their sustainability. And yep, I kind of agree. It's becoming a mess a little bit. The announcement that Carnival will be absorbing P&O Australia and folding it into the brand and closing the Australia branch of P&O Cruise Lines, getting rid of 3 ships sailing out of Australia. So first off, the Pacific Explorer, she's leaving the fleet. So all the ships after February, all her sailings, February 2025, are now being canceled. Not to mention now all the bookings on the Pacific Adventure and the Pacific Encounter are also being canceled right now. Thousands of bookings, because those are the 2 ships that will be rebranded into the Carnival fleet. Those ships are probably going to go into dry dock and get some work done on them and changed over to the Carnival brand and added the Carnival things like Guy's Burger and things like that. But it's leaving a lot of people in lurch on their cruise vacations. Not only that, remember we've done some numerous stories lately of cruise lines no longer returning to Australia or cutting back the amount of ships they have there. For instance, Virgin Cruise Line said they're not going to Australia starting next year. Also, a couple other cruise lines have also said the exact same things, and they were wondering if this was going to be a trend. Well, now you take out the stoic brand of P&O Australia, which really was an icon in that area. They've been sailing for over 90 years. Well, it's gone now too, meaning 3 ships that were home ported there will no longer be sailing as well. This could really cut into the farmers and the suppliers and the cruise ship workers, etc., etc. And I'm sure Australia will be really looking at this in the future to see where they can go and how they can bring in more cruise lines instead of this trend that seems to be going in the other direction. It's a sad day, and especially if you had bookings on those ships and they're now gone and you have to find other alternatives. Well, speaking of other alternatives, a portion of the Danube River, 350 kilometers that have been on the coast running through Germany, have been shut down due to high flooding and high rains, and it's just a mess right there. People have lost their lives in the flood. They've closed it down now. They've also looked at other areas that may be closing. I know AMA Waterways has canceled 2 sailings on some of their ships already. Viking is monitoring the situation and maybe changing itineraries. So if you have a river cruise planned anytime soon in those areas on the Danube, your itineraries have a very high chance of either being canceled completely or changed. It's expected to run the next few days and still not be open at least through the weekend. So we'll see what happens. Again, it's not just ocean cruises that can miss cruise ports and have something happen because of weather. Well, high water in this case is canceling river cruises along the Danube. I'll keep you informed as we hear more if any more river cruises are going to be canceling or changing, etc. But the cruise lines are reaching out to all their passengers and coming up with other options if this is the case. Obviously, if they cancel your cruise, hopefully you got your airline through that cruise line, which many people do when they book a river cruise. They make it one big package, and you get your money back, hopefully, through the cruise line. But I've never had to cancel a river cruise myself, so I don't know the whole procedure. I'm not an expert on river cruising, so yeah, it's not an ideal situation. What is a pretty good situation, though, is in Sweden. We have the cruise line port in Stockholm is now testing their shore power. They are going to have 2 plugs able to go for 2 separate cruise ships. It's one of the first ones in Europe. They've been testing it with AIDA Cruise Line right now. And if all goes forward, hopefully, they'll be hooking up to shore power in the near future, which of course makes residences and environmentalists much happier when a cruise ship is in port if they're plugged into the grid as opposed to running their engines while they're in the terminal. So yeah. Stockholm is on that trend and finally has the shore power after a couple of years of trying to get it installed. It's finally there and ready to go. But we do have, speaking of the environment, some good news coming out of Vancouver as some cruise lines were awarded an Environmental Leadership Award. But before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you want to keep up to date with everything going on in cruising, from the ships that are being canceled to what's going to happen with those ships. Are they going to become Carnival brand? Are they going to become British Carnival brand, much like Costa became the Italian version of Carnival, sort of? We don't know, but I'll keep you informed here as best I can. I hope to make your vacation just a little bit simpler, maybe save you some money in the meantime, but definitely keep you informed of all the happenings in the cruise industry to make sure your next cruise goes as smoothly as possible. And again, when you subscribe, hit a like button, leave a comment. It really helps the channel out, and I really do appreciate it. Okay, let's talk about the awards that were just handed out in Vancouver. Now, this is called the Blue Circle Award. It's an annual award. It's been going on for a number of years now, and it's the Port Authority that celebrates all the businesses that are leading the way in environmental impacts and what they're doing. And 5 cruise lines this year have been nominated and won the awards. We have Disney Cruise Line, Holland America Cruise Line, Princess, Royal Caribbean, and Viking Ocean have all been recognized for their environmental sustainability and what they do. Everything down from biofuels that they're using, the new biodegraders they have on board for food waste and things like that, to even the cutting down on the speed in certain areas for environmental protections for the whales and wildlife that are running through, plus keeping the noise level even under the ocean. That's right, they monitor the noise levels of cruise ships. And the 2 cruise lines they really wanted to recognize, one was Disney Cruise Line for being a winner in every year that they've home ported in Vancouver. And for the 13th time, Princess Cruise Line was one of the highlights of this year's Blue Circle Awards. They've won it numerous times, and they seem to be one of the ones that are leading the industry in that area for emissions and sustainability actions. So they were recognized by the Port of Vancouver, and yeah, I have to agree. These cruise lines have been doing more and more and more. I just came off that Sun Princess cruise, and I got a tour of what's down below and all the environmental things they're doing, and it's absolutely incredible. A lot of people don't realize all the stuff that actually goes into the environmental part of the cruise ship. They just think cruise ship bad, but they never actually go on board and actually see what they're doing. And I think more people should do, because it's quite amazing. Well, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think's the impact of 3 more ships not being able to go to Australia? Go in there with Virgin, go in there with the other cruise ship that have now left Australia. What's gonna happen? Are other cruise lines gonna fill the spot? Or is it just gonna become less sailings and less opportunities for those in Australia? Leave a comment down below, and until next time, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.